And welcome to Let's Fly VFR. Today we're going out in the Zealand 142 to do some spinning. We're heading over to Perth and we're just going to be off the coast of Jandakot. Subscribe, like and share if you'd be so kind. This is a magnificent little aeroplane, guys. It is freeware. I'll try and put a link for you in below. And this is the first of about a half dozen ones that I did, but they're all a little bit different. They all have their own characteristics. I did some flying in this. You can see we're just falling like a leaf with this. So if you haven't done spins in an aircraft, I highly recommend you do it in your simulator. I don't recommend you go out and do it in a real aircraft unless you're with an instructor, of course. There's the disclaimer. Getting into a spin is all about stalling, and one of the things I will do for you in one of the later stalls is we'll do what's called we call it a falling leaf, where you stall but you don't rotate, which is what's been happening when you get into a spin. Generally when you fly slow, you'll come back to very slow speeds, and then your angle of attack will grow until to a point where your wings just can't hold the aircraft anymore. So we're going to put this one back into a spin, so we're going to let the speed drop off in a moment, and then what we're going to do is pull the controls directly back towards us, and then as we enter the stall we're going to hold the controls back and hit a rudder, left or right. So you can go full left or full right rudder. I think all the ones I've done in this one I'm doing left spins, but there is another thing called adverse yaw, which I'm going to show you in another video very soon, where if you do it wrong the aircraft spins the opposite way, which is pretty frightening. So here we go. Backing the power off, holding the stick back, trying to keep myself level. You can see the frame rate's absolutely magnificent at the moment in X-Plane 11. It's just fluid as. Okay, quick look around, and we're off the coast, so you've got to be a bit careful with water because you don't have any depth perception, I've got to tell you. Here we go, holding it up, and the left rudder's in, and there it goes. So it's rolled over. So there's one, and that's 2, 3, 4. It's accelerating and it's sort of modulating a little bit. Now to get out of this, let go of the controls, and the textbook is that you need opposite rudder to stop yourself in the rotation, but it doesn't seem to need that in the Zealand. But all aircraft are a little different. Some aircraft spin easily, some are very hard to spin, some spin and you cannot get out of it. So you would want to be very careful with what aircraft you went spinning in, guys, if you were to be out in a real world aircraft. Look at the pilot operating handbook and ask your QFI. So we're going to climb a little bit further before we do another one. Interested in the amount of time it takes you to recover, because a lot of the time these happen when people are either in the takeoff phase and your nose is high like this, and something happens, your seat breaks, you get distracted, another warning, something happens to you, you pull back on the stick too hard, hit the rudder, and then around she goes. Now check the altimeter and see how far we drop. You drop surprisingly quickly, don't you? You can lose 500-600 feet in just a heartbeat. Probably one turn is probably about 500 feet of it, I'm guessing. So let's do it again. We're already at low speed, so it's quick to get into again. There we've actually looped over, I think, there. As we go, 1 rotation, 2 rotations, about 2.5. That one came out pretty quickly there. Again, have another reference at we're down to about 800 feet there. From about 1500 I think we were when we entered that one. So you can see how dangerous it is. So when you're taking off and landing in your sim, you've got to be very careful. Once you get up to about 1,000 foot, if something silly was to happen, you've got a half a chance of doing it. But it's really all about the concentration, making sure that you don't crash because you're not concentrating, or you're talking to your friends, or in the case of a sim, the cat, the dog or the children come and want something from you. It might be as easy to stick it on pause for a moment and sort them out before you crash the aeroplane and then have to start all over again. Scenery here is pretty good. I've got my scenery slider right up at max at the moment around here at Jandakot. Perth in WA in Western Australia. Really highly recommend this aircraft to go and have a bit of a fun. It's extremely realistic. That's the one thing I still do love about X-Plane 11. The flight dynamics for the most part are just amazing. Still having a bit of a play with recent performance improvements. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 has become a little bit more playable for me, so that's great. So I hope the guys at Microsoft keep working on their drivers and optimizations as with NVIDIA. Here we go again. Go on again. See, that happened really quickly. There's 2 turns and we've recovered already. So again, if you get a chance, just reference the altimeter. I'm generally starting these at around about nearly 4,500, like a bit of altitude. I have done this and not been able to recover, even in this aircraft, guys, so it can happen. There we go, that was one quick one, and we're back in again. Now you've got to make sure you bring the throttle back, really, guys, when you go into a spin, because once you go nose down, pick up speed very, very quickly. So here we go, we're going to go into it again. So again, at 3,000 feet or above, you'd really want to be at. Pull the stick back to your stall, and then left or right rudder to make it spin and go what you're seeing here. Now to get out of it, release the stick, just let it go, and opposite rudder if you continue to rotate. Something like Cessna, I'm going to have a look at that as well too, because it's been a while. It may continue, you may need the opposite rudder to stop it once it settles. That'll take a little bit more time, and then you need to once you get the rotation stopped, then power back up, pull out of the climb gently, so you don't overstress the aircraft, and fly away, hopefully nice and safely. I hope you enjoyed those, guys. It really is a lot of fun. It's one of those exciting things you can do, especially in VR. I flew this in the Oculus Rift on my system. Again, my system is a 2600 and a 2060 Super. Running really well with the 32 gig of DDR4, 3200 megahertz. So good little system. If you're looking for any more gear for your system, or you need help with anything, please come to letsflyvfr.com. You will find links in the description below. Come have a look there. If you come along and you need to buy any new gear for your sim, whether it's joysticks, rudder pedals, instruments, I've got cockpit displays and things all available there, along with systems and laptops and all sorts of bits and pieces. If you'd like to support the channel, would really appreciate it if you come visit, have a look around, see what you think. Just coming along helps me out. I know there's a little bit of advertising on the page, but if you come and have a look at the page, it's something you're interested in, that really helps me out as well. So here we go, we're just going to cross the runway here. We're at Jandakot. I think this area might need a little bit of a touch-up. It's a little quiet as far as aeroplanes. A couple parked on the left, we might go park over there. Really enjoying the VR sim experience. It is really what it's, everything was cracked up to be, so loving it. Now there's a few more aircraft out there I think we should try. We should try a couple of bigger aircraft. Got any suggestions for me? Please pop them in the suggestions below, down the comments. Have you spun this? Try that. Now I have done a reasonable amount of real world flying, guys, but when it comes to spinning, that's something I've never done. I've done stalls and all that sort of stuff in basic flying. But, never done any of these to be regarded as batiks. So, but great fun to do it in sim. Go grab your favourite aircraft. If it's a fighter, give the fighters, they'll take you for a wild ride. And doesn't that model look excellent? Anybody recognise the pilot? It looks like somebody you should know if you're an X-Plane fanatic, as I've been over the last few years here at Let's Fly VFR. So for now, I will catch you soon, and look out for the Adverse Your video, which will be heading your way real soon. Thanks for your time. Catch up soon. Subscribe, like. Visit me at Let's Fly VFR. Bye bye.